Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we are taking a wildly fascinating ride straight up the global real estate ladder, escalating through 7 distinct levels of homes. We are going to track a financial spectrum starting from a literal $1,000 all the way up to a staggering $100 million. We're going from absolute pocket change to the kind of generational wealth that makes your head spin, just to see what your money actually buys at every single level.
So let's dive into this insane contrast. I mean, what does $1,000 actually get you compared to absolute peak wealth? On one end, you've got the cheapest possible properties on Earth, and on the other, these sprawling, mind-bending private kingdoms. It's an incredible look at how real estate scales.
All right, Section 1, the extreme bargains. Let's start our journey grounded in reality at the absolute rock bottom of the market. Level 1 kicks off at exactly $1,000. Just think about that for a second. $1,000. You can barely buy a decent modern smartphone for that price nowadays. So what kind of house does a single grand even get you?
Well, honestly, it's a bit of a trap. For $1,000, you're looking at abandoned shells in places like Detroit, or maybe those famous €1 homes in rural Italy. But there is a massive catch here. These places usually don't even have basic plumbing. Plus, you literally have to sign a legal promise committing to spend tens of thousands of dollars to renovate the place. You aren't really buying a house, you're buying a massive, mandatory construction project.
So, let's bump the budget. Let's add a zero and hit level 2, $10,000.
For $10,000, you get to step into the whole tiny home movement. This buys you a minimalist, prefabricated container house that, and this is wild, you can literally order straight off Amazon. You just click Add to Cart, it gets delivered right to you, and you can practically assemble it in your backyard over a weekend. It's highly efficient and super cozy, though obviously not exactly meant for a big family.
Okay, Section 2, the real world. We're leaving the extreme bargains behind and stepping into the everyday real estate market.
Level 3 lands at $100,000. For decades, this has kind of been the traditional starting point for everyday people looking to get their foot on the property ladder.
So what does $100,000 buy you? Well, you get the basics, a solid, unflashy 2 to 3 bedroom suburban home, or maybe a modest apartment in a mid-sized city. You're getting a functional little kitchen, a small yard, and just enough space to live comfortably. Nothing too flashy, but it's a great anchor for middle-class homeownership.
But here's where things start to get super interesting. What happens when we multiply that budget by 10 and hit level 4, $1 million? We are talking real money now.
This level brilliantly illustrates how location changes absolutely everything. $1 million doesn't just automatically guarantee you endless space. If you're out in a smaller town, sure, you're buying a massive, sprawling mansion with a huge pool. But if you take that exact same $1 million to an ultra-premium zip code like NYC, London, or Dubai, you're getting a sleek, premium one-bedroom condo with a great skyline view. At this level, you aren't just buying square footage, you're buying the location itself.
Brace yourselves, because we are officially leaving reality behind. Section 3, the Celebrity Resort. Welcome to tech CEO territory.
Level 5 brings us to a staggering $10 million. At this price point, a house fundamentally stops being a home and becomes a full-blown private entertainment resort. Picture the prime Miami waterfront, or the absolute best hills in LA. For $10 mil, you're getting massive sliding glass walls that open up to infinity pools, a private 12-seat movie theater, a wine cellar, a pro outdoor kitchen, and complete iPad smart home automation. You'll usually see layouts with 8 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms, which is hilarious, because why do you need more bathrooms than bedrooms? But at this level, it's because the house is designed purely for hosting massive, extravagant parties.
Now, if $10 million gets you a resort, you've really got to wonder who on earth is buying into Section 4, the mega mansion compound.
Welcome to Level 6, making a massive jump to $50 million. This is the highly exclusive, untouchable domain of billionaires, top hedge fund managers, and literal royalty.
At $50 million, it's not a mansion anymore. It's a luxury fortress. The security features alone are mind-blowing. Buyers here demand military-grade thermal cameras, bulletproof glass, and reinforced biometric panic rooms. Privacy and absolute physical protection become just as important as the house itself.
And the luxuries? They completely ignore normal residential limits. We're talking subterranean, climate-controlled museum garages for 20 to 30 supercars, indoor basketball courts, private spa levels with saunas and cryotherapy chambers, and yes, even commercial-grade roof helipads so you can literally beat city traffic by flying straight to your living room.
And finally, we have reached the ultimate peak of real estate in this explainer. Section 5, the hyper-luxury estate.
Level 7, $100 million. This unbelievable budget buys you the most exclusive mega mansions on Earth in places like the French Riviera or infamous, sprawling properties like the one in Bel Air.
At this absolute zenith of wealth, the features sound way less like a house and more like a commercial amusement park. You get a private full-size bowling alley, a commercial juice bar, an actual fully equipped private nightclub with a DJ booth and VIP lounges. Some of these estates even feature a modern-day water moat with floating steps. It is the absolute peak of architectural showmanship.
But wait, here is the massive, jaw-dropping twist regarding these ultra estates. Getting the deed is literally only half the battle.
The maintenance on a $100 million property is terrifying. Just to keep the lights on, manicure the massive gardens, and pay a full-time staff of private chefs, cleaners, and security guards, that is going to cost you $1 to $2 million every single year. You have to be incredibly wealthy just to pay the monthly utility bills and payroll.
So what a wild ride, right? We went from a $1,000 abandoned trap that doesn't even have plumbing all the way up to a $100 million private kingdom with its own nightclub and moat. A home that literally burns through millions a year just to exist. It leaves us with one really fun question to think about. From the minimalist container home to the billionaire fortress, which level would you actually choose to live in if you won the lottery tomorrow?